All right, in this example, we're being asked to find the derivative of the following function. Okay, so notice we have a function inside of another function. Mainly, the trigonometric function secant is inside of inverse tangent. And so whenever that happens, I have to make use of the chain rule. I'm going to go ahead and put that up in the abstract right quick. What the chain rule says is if we have a function, big F of x, and that's equal to little h of little g of x, it simply says that when I do the derivative, I do the derivative of the outer function and leave the inside alone, and then multiply by the derivative of the inner function. And if I had more functions inside, I would just carry on in this way. So let's use this to take the derivative of this function right here. Well, the derivative of inverse tangent is 1 over 1 plus x squared. Now I don't have x inside, I have something else, so it's going to be 1 over 1 plus whatever that is squared. So when I do this derivative, inverse tangent is 1 over 1 plus whatever I had inside squared. Well, what I had inside was secant, so secant squared of x. Okay, but now the chain rule tells me I also need to multiply by the derivative of what I had inside. Well, what I had inside was secant, and the derivative of secant is secant times tangent. So I'm going to write secant times tangent. Now that's basically the end of the calculus. Now we're going to have some trig because there's some trig identities here, and I can greatly simplify this. 1 plus secant squared is an identity, and what it is equal to is tangent squared. And so I'm going to have secant times tangent over tangent squared. Again, that's because that's what 1 plus secant squared is. Well, a single tangent is going to cross out here. So I'm going to have secant over tangent. And then remember our trig identities. Tangent is sine over cosine, and secant is 1 over cosine. So this is going to be 1 over cosine over sine over cosine. Okay, almost there. Recall that when you divide two fractions, you have to flip the bottom one and multiply them. So that's just what I'm going to do. 1 over cosine x times flip cosine over sine. And notice here, those cosines cross out. And I'm just left with 1 over sine. Finally, recall that 1 over sine is cosecant. So there we go. Whenever you have a function inside of another function, you have to utilize the chain rule. And in this case, I just did the derivative of the outside function and multiplied by the derivative of the inside function, that's chain rule. And then I just had some trig identities to use to get all the way down to just cosecant x. And that is this example.